What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. We're getting into our New York Jets 2024 undrafted free agent class, and we have our second offensive lineman in left tackle, Willie Tyler out of Louisville. And to be honest, this was my least favorable, guy to really break down out of his entire draft class. Most of it I can say is probably his fault, but it's not necessarily related to what he's done on the field. But this 100% feels like a JAG, just a guy type player for me throughout the entire offseason schedule. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him make it all the way until the final 53-man cuts, but if he can surprise, I will still be thrilled for it, right? He reminds me a lot of when you're younger, or if you're just already in some of those sports circuits, right? Let's say basketball. When you line up those kids and you're trying to get your 5-on-5 games going, Willie is one of those guys you're going to look at and immediately say, I want him, right? Big body, huge frame, right? 6'6", 310 pounds. You would say he should be able to go out there and dominate. And then you get out there and you realize, maybe he's a bully for sure, but doesn't have great hands, can't really hop, can't, not skilled shooter, etc., etc. You start saying, well, it's not quite what I thought I was buying. And that's a lot of the same feeling that I get when I look at Willie Tyler. Now, what I meant by this isn't 100% due to what he's done on the field. Originally, finishing out his high school career, he was a defensive lineman. Then he goes into college and he goes on just kind of a world tour, a shopping trip, if you will, of colleges trying to find playing time, trying to get on the field and show he could be a dominant force. He goes to Garden City Community College, transfers to Iowa Western, gets an opportunity to play D1 with the Texans, gets an opportunity to play D1 football with Texas, can't really find his way onto the field. Then he ends up transferring to Louisiana Monroe. From there, he goes to Rutgers and then finally finishes out with Louisville. And so not only, I've heard a few people talk about this, right? Guys that are, they've been offensive line coaches for, 20 plus years, etc. It's so hard these days, especially with the NIL rules and everything, where guys can't really sit and develop behind these coaches and or in the same scheme, system, etc., right? Things don't work out in one destination. They immediately hop over. They think their skill set is ready-made day one, and that's not the case for many of these young guys, regardless of physical build. And so I do think this is something that would have hurt a guy like Willie Tyler, where it would have helped to sit in Texas. And yes, you might not have seen the field a ton, but give yourself at least 2 years, right? Learn the system, build, grow, refine your technique, and then maybe you can hop over and ball out somewhere else. And that's the other piece. When it comes to the on-field production, you never really seen a truly dominant season out of him, right? I mean, he probably did his best work at Iowa Western, which granted him his opportunity with Texas. But then, landed in Louisiana Monroe, run first offense that would have, meshed well with just what he naturally is going to bring to the table. But then you look at his time in Louisville, he lost his left tackle job, I believe, in 2022 to another transfer teammate as well. And so ultimately in the NFL, I don't think you're really looking at him as a tackle prospect. He's probably moving inside to guard. And if you just want to look at the numbers, 2023 allowed 7 sacks, 26 pressures. That's something that should scare a ton of people, right? You look at what he does well. It's not a ton that I wanted to dive into with this guy, but obviously the strength and size is very alluring. He can maintain his blocks pretty well in space, and he's capable of using his side, right? He knows how to position his body in order to help seal off the edge. But outside of a lot of those, the sack and pressure numbers I presented, he relies on his frame more than technique, and the lower body and footwork doesn't have any real kind of refinement. And again, I think a lot of that is from transitioning consistently throughout his entire college career, you're going to be asked to do different kind of stances, different footwork, different hand jab timing. There's a lot of nuances in each of these schemes, and so learning so much, it's generally not the way you want to go about it when developing a guy like this. So I'm not thrilled for him. I'm hoping we do see something, though, right? It doesn't matter what my breakdowns or anybody else's really mean. At the end of the day, ultimately, I want to go out and see every one of these guys ball and make a very difficult decision for the coaching staff on who to keep. Willie Tyler just doesn't have a ton of confidence from me for it, right? And I know a lot of people will probably compare him to the Mekhi Bectons of the world and guys like J.C. Latham and stuff, even though he's a significantly lower weight, but just because of the, physical, height measurement. But I don't know. There's nothing else that really pulls and draws me in about this guy, Willie Tyler. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm being too harsh here. But I look forward to anything you guys have. And I'll catch you again. Peace.